Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Marc, Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, coming to you live for another Metaphysical Mocha Mondays inspirational show for the week ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. I'm just going to give it a second for everybody to jump on board. Hopefully I have a strong enough signal. Today we're going to be talking about we don't know them all, but we owe them all. So good morning to you. If you could just let me know that we've got a good signal. Good morning, Christine. How are you? If you guys can hear me okay. I am here in beautiful Palm Springs. Happy Memorial Day to you. Going to be sharing a message out this morning talking about our soldiers who have served and some stats, and to remember those that have served for the freedoms that we share today, the freedoms that I have here celebrating in Palm Springs, the freedom to come on live and have free speech through Facebook Live. So good morning to all of you, and grab your coffee, grab your tea. I've got my standard hotel coffee mug this morning, so just going to be saying good morning to somebody. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Maria. How are you guys? Good morning, April, top fan. It sounds like it's windy or rainy around the microphone. Okay, so let me kind of clean that up just a little bit. I do have a sound microphone with a windsock on it, so hopefully that is a little bit better on the quality, and I'll speak up a little bit more. So this morning, I just wanted to share a Memorial Day message, talk about Memorial Day, why we celebrate Memorial Day, and to honor those that have died in war to provide the freedoms that we have today in our society. I always remind people that freedom is not free. And as a medium and as a light worker and as somebody that works with those on the other side, there's over 1.3 million soldiers who have died serving this great country of ours. And so I just want to, as an honor to those soldiers who have died serving for America, but also serving the spirit world, and a honor in those that I work with, because I do get a lot of people in uniform, both men and women, that come through in some of my events. And I have an event coming up here in a week, a few days up in Canada, and I wouldn't be surprised if I had a few soldiers, those that have served in uniform, come through from the other side. So good morning to all of you. When you were closer to the mic, you had better clarity. Okay, so I am outside, so let me see if this helps. Karen, is that better on the microphone? I've got kind of a soft voice today because I am outside. Hi, Victoria, how are you? So let me kind of just speak up a little bit, and maybe that'll help. I do have a windsock on, so hopefully that will be a little bit more clear on the microphone. So I do like to do my Metaphysical Mocha Mondays from the road if I can, so if it's a little clunky on the sound, I do apologize. But if you guys would do me a big favor, because I'm just on my phone today, if you don't mind sharing out to a few pages or tagging a few people that might need to hear today's message. Today's message, we're talking about we don't know them all, but we owe them all. Freedom is not free, and just thanking the soldiers who have died, both men, women, and animals who have served this country to provide us with the freedoms that we have. So I'm here in the beautiful Palm Springs here at the Renaissance Hotel. Came down here for a birthday celebration, and I actually last night was out a little bit late because I went to my first drag show. I lost my virginity last night here in Palm Springs going to a drag show, which was a lot of fun. So if you guys have ever been to a drag show and watched them sing and have a good time, it was just a lot of fun. So I highly recommend that if you have never done that. So just perfect now. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Thanks, Ari. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to have the prospecting show right after this, but it's not going to be that long because I have an appointment to get to later this morning. So we will have the prospecting Q&A after show where you can ask me a question. But this morning I just wanted to share and honor and respect and have gratitude for those that have served our country, all armed forces. And like I said, we don't know them all, but we owe them all. And it's just a reminder, because in today's society we have really disconnected from our military. And today take the opportunity to thank somebody in uniform, not just military, but also firefighters, first responders, police officers, those that serve and protect. Make sure to just say thank you for the freedoms that I have today. This show was created to have an attitude for gratitude. And I'm very grateful, being one that I served my country and had the opportunity to serve 8 years in the U.S. Coast Guard and 13 years as a firefighter before my eventual retirement. But it's also to honor those in the spirit world, because as a medium, as I walk between two worlds, both this physical world and the etheric, unseen world, I always want to, thank those that are listening from the spirit world and the 1.3 million people that have died serving our country. So again, please share out. I will be drawing one lucky person. My way of saying thank you for sharing out or subscribing to my YouTube channel, which is in the description field of this video. Make sure to turn on, like, share, all that good stuff, the Intuitive Prospector page. And this month I'll be picking one lucky person to have a 30-minute reading with me. It's my way of saying thank you for sharing out the page, for subscribing to my YouTube channel, and also subscribing to the Intuitive Prospector channel. So my name is Marc Lainhart. I'm the Intuitive Prospector. I'm here every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, followed at 8:30 with the Prospecting Q&A after show, where I actually have a direct conversation with all of you that are watching right now. So I've got a few of you tuning in this morning, so thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. And especially on a Monday morning, hopefully a lot of you have today off if you're in the United States. I know I have some people around the world, both in Canada and England and New Zealand and South Korea, and you probably don't have today off. But here in the States, it is a national holiday called Memorial Day, and I'll talk about that just as quick. So one of the things I just want to remind people of when you tune into Mocha Mondays is to just pause for a second and reflect on the messages that I'm providing, my inspirational messages for the week ahead. And I do it on Mondays because I found Mondays was the least favorite day, and I thought what better way to try to inspire people, to lift people up, and to give people inspirational messages than on Mondays. So that's where Metaphysical Mocha Mondays was created. You can also catch me every Wisdom Wednesday over on the internet radio platform, Inspired Living Radio. That's at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. That is our live radio show. We have call-in lines. You can post our Facebook page, Inspired Living Radio. We've been on the air for 4 seasons, so you can catch all of our podcasts with all of our amazing guests and topics. And it's just, my way of connecting to people throughout the week and giving back. So good morning to Christine. Good morning to Maria, Colette. Good morning. How are you guys? Jeannie, how are you? Tina, good morning. MC, good morning from South Africa. So see, there you go. We have people all around the world. Good morning, Mom. My mom is watching. Hi, Agoat. If I'm saying your name right, I apologize if I'm not. Mom's saying good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Wendy. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Please just share out. I'm going to turn the comments off real quick, and then I'll be back to have a conversation with you at 8:30. But grab your coffee, grab your tea. My coffee got a little spilled, so there's a little bit of coffee overrun it. And just take a second to move into the magic of the moment. I always teach that the magic of the moment is the most important, because we don't have a guarantee for the future, and we can't do anything about our past. And this morning I'm talking about we don't know them all, but we owe them all. Freedom is not free, guys, and we need to thank those that are serving. And I wanted to point out the different days of honoring our veterans, but also today to just take a few minutes out of my busy schedule to remember those that have served. And like I said, there's been, according to the VA source, and I did some studies on this before I went live, 1.3 million soldiers have died serving this great country of ours. So think about that for a second. 1.3 million throughout all the wars. Now, and that source is coming from the Veterans Administration, the VA. Now, the biggest war was the Civil War, which ended up taking 498,000 lives, followed by World War II, which took 405,000 lives. World War I took 116,000 lives. The Vietnam War comes in at number 4 with 90,000 soldiers killed during the Vietnam War. And then rounding up the top 5. I only did the top 5 for today's show, but there's a lot more wars. There's the Spanish-American War, there's the War of 1812, there's today's Persian Gulf War that's taking place right now, the War on Terrorism. But the Korean War came in at on the 5th because I ranked the wars based on the amount of people that have died serving our country, and that's what Memorial Day is today, is to remember those that have died while serving And so the Korean War had 54,000 soldiers killed. So again, 1.3 million people have died serving this country. We don't know them all, but we owe them all. And just take a second of gratitude just to reflect on what you have in your life and the freedoms that you enjoy and the liberties that you have and maybe the things that you take for granted, because freedom is not free, guys. And I'm always reminding people of that. And you have what you have today because of the people that have paved the way before us. And like I said, you know, the Civil War, World War II, World War I, Vietnam, and Korean War were all the big wars that have taken the most lives in a conflict. So to point out the difference between Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Armed Forces Day, because I feel like people get a little confused on what Armed Forces Day is. So Armed Forces is the third Saturday of May, and that is to honor those that are currently serving. So those people that are alive on the third Saturday in May is to honor those that are serving right now on duty. And thank you to all of our active duty members that are, you know, all the military forces that are protecting our freedoms. They're protecting us day in and day out. And I always want to try to bring light to that, because I was at one point, I stood my post and I was a soldier. I was in the Coast Guard, standing watch, making sure that the waterways were safe. So it's just a good reminder to remind people that your freedom comes at a price, and freedom is not free. So the Armed Forces Day is the third Saturday of May, and that's for those that are currently serving, so thank you. Memorial Day is today, and Memorial Day is to really honor those that died while serving. So today's message of Metaphysical Mocha is to pay my respect to those that have served, and to also send a message to the spirit world as a medium, thanking them, all the soldiers, the 1.3 million people that are no longer here in the physical world, but are still very much a part of our lives if we want them to be. So if you have a family member that served, that's no longer here in the physical world and in the spirit world, I always remind people that the etheric spirit world is very much a part of our own physical world. You know, some people believe in heaven, some people believe in hell, some people don't believe in any of that. I just, from my own personal experiences, know that it's a world within a world, and it's very much a part of our world, just in a different frequency, a different form, a different energy, if you will. And that our loved ones are always interacting with us, what I call signs, symbols, synergy, and synchronistic events. So Memorial Day is today, and that's to honor those that have died while serving. And then, of course, Veterans Day is for all of our veterans on November 11th. And so the 3 days are Armed Forces Day, Memorial Day, Veterans Day. And again, the third Saturday of May is to honor those that are serving. Today, Memorial Day, is to honor those that have died while serving, and that's who we're honoring today. We're honoring the dead and those that are no longer here, that gave the ultimate sacrifice to allow us to have the freedoms that we have today. And then, of course, Veterans Day on November 11th. Now, it's interesting because when I was doing my research on for today's show, because I wasn't sure if I was going to, I had a late night last night with my first drag show here in Palm Springs, which was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed Palm Springs. The weather is nice. We were up in the mountains yesterday. We went up to 8,400 feet and did mountains in the morning, and then we were down here poolside in a cabana. So it was 36 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday in the morning doing a hike. Did about 3 miles up in west of Palm Springs up in the mountains, and then by 1 o'clock we were down by the pool, and it was a nice 80 degrees. So that's kind of cool to be able to have those two different variances of experiences and temperatures at 8,400 feet, and took a tram up. It was the tram ride, and then hiked up in the mountains, so that was really cool. But you know, Palm Springs is a lot of fun. I did my first drag show, a lot of fun, great food, great people, a lot of laughter. And so today, you know, we have a population of 320 million people, and we only have about 1% serving if you look at our overall population, which is about 1.3 million serving, and then we have another million of reserves. So we have about 2.3 million people serving currently today in our armed forces. So thank you so much for serving and being a part of the military, whatever branch that you are, if you're Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, civil service, whatever you're doing to serve and protect and honor the Constitution. Thank you for your service today. And most importantly, Memorial Day is to honor those that have served. But again, today it's only about 1% of the population that is actually serving. During World War II, it was over 12%. So hopefully we never have to go back there. But it's interesting that, you know, as I grew up in the 70s, there was a lot of shows that I used to watch, and some may resonate with this. You might remember Hogan's Heroes, or McHale's Navy, or Gomer Pyle, or MASH. And today I don't see a lot of shows about the military anymore, so there's kind of a disconnect. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe the world has gotten so busy with their technology and their social media and their news media, their news cycles, and their politics that they're not paying attention anymore. But I always remind people that, you know, history has a way of repeating itself, just in different ways. And I just want to, you know, just say thank you today to our soldiers who have died on Memorial Day. Little bit of history for you, because I'm a fan of history and a student of life. It was in May 30th, 1868, that it was deemed National Decoration Day. So it was actually at Arlington Cemetery. Is the soldiers would go and decorate the tombs of both the Confederate and Union soldiers. And then by World War II, that's where it would actually change to what we call today Memorial Day. And then in 1971, a year before I was born, is where it became a national holiday called Memorial Day. So just think about your liberties that you have today. Think about your freedoms that you have today, the things that you're able to do, the places that you're able to go, like here to Palm Springs, the ability to have social media to share a message out to remind people the importance of Memorial Day. And again, we don't know all of them, but we owe all of them, and that's today's message on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. So just going to keep a close eye on the time as we get close. As far as your totem animal spirit for this week, and I've got somebody asking me a question. I will be back here at 8:30 for the Prospecting Q&A after show, so make sure to share out to the page or come back at 8:30 if you have a question. Please don't send me any private messages. I can't see them. I can't switch over today because I'm on my phone. And I'm going to get through today's messages pretty quick, because if not, it ends up turning into an hour show, and I have an appointment later this afternoon that I have to get ready for. But as far as the Memorial Day totem animal spirit for this week, I want to give you the unicorn. It's to use your imagination and to go after the things that you want in life. So the unicorn is your totem animal spirit for this week in honor of Memorial Day, to use your imagination for what you want. The number for the week, for your numerology number, is to have physical activity. So this week, try to get some physical activity in. The 6 is about self-love. The 7 is about truth. Try to get some physical activity on your journey for this week. Go up into the mountains if you can, like I did yesterday. But get some physical activity. And I'm actually going to use a citrine stone that I brought. So this is this was in front of me actually, but your crystal for the week is citrine. This stone is really good for raising your vibration. For those of you who may suffer from anxiety or depression, it's really nice to get some citrine and just wear it. Put it in your pocket, wear it over your heart. So that's going to be your crystal for the week, the citrine stone. And then again, the numerology is get some physical activity. And your totem animal spirit for this week is the unicorn. And the unicorn just reminds you to use your imagination, use your intuition, which I call the language of the soul. So that's your message for today. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. Just a quick show just to honor those that have served while being in uniform and have paid the ultimate sacrifice to give their life so that we can have freedoms. And just a reminder, to pay your respects, say thank you to somebody in uniform, whether it's a police officer, a firefighter, a military member, those that have served. Just say thank you, and it goes a long way, and it makes that person's day as well. So I'm going to be back here in just a few minutes for the Prospecting Q&A after show, where I'll take your questions. So get your questions ready. Just try to limit it to one question per person, so I can try to get to everybody. And then also, if it's mediumship, if I am connecting with somebody in the spirit world that's coming through, I'll ask that you either have a headset on, or you turn your volume down, and we'll split screen and bring you on to do video via Facebook Live for that connection. But if it's too loud, or there's a bad feedback, or you don't have headphones, or I'm here myself, we end up disconnecting the video because it's just too clunky. So again, thank you so much for tuning in today for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, live here from the beautiful Palm Springs, California, where we've been hanging out for a few days. I'm here at the Renaissance Hotel just enjoying my time. Went to my first drag show, a lot of fun. I went up to the mountains of Palm Springs, got a hike into 8,400 feet, just, soul adventures. So, again, today's message is we don't know them all, but we owe them all. Freedom is not free. Thank you today to those that have served. Thank you to those that are serving. And I, just give you my respect and I honor and much, much gratitude. So thank you for tuning in this morning. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you for subscribing or sharing out. I really appreciate you guys. And I'll be back here in just a few minutes for the Prospecting Q&A after show. So make sure to turn on, like, share, subscribe to the Intuitive Prospector page so you can get all the messages that I do throughout the week, either Metaphysical Mocha Mondays or Inspired Living Radio, and sometimes I just pop on and do free readings, so it just kind of depends. So have a great rest of your week, everybody. Until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. Namaste.